In this video, you're going to be watching the IELTS speaking mock test that I took from the American native speaker. Before watching this video, I want to mention some important things. Firstly, the main purpose of this video is not to assess the Americans' native speakers' speaking ability, but to know more about how they're going to speak if they have such speaking test. Secondly, since I found some vocabularies that the native speakers use as useful, I highlighted them so you can learn those vocabularies for preparing for your IELTS speaking test. Lastly, I highly recommend you to watching this video with the aim of learning something new instead of trying to figure out what kind of score that the native speakers can get. Learn how they speak, learn how they are responding to questions, learn how they are tone, how they are pronouncing the words, how vocabularies they are using. Try to learn something new so that you can use them for your IELTS speaking test. So let's get started. Good afternoon. My name is Shahbaz John. Today I will be conducting your IELTS speaking mock test, and our test consists of 3 parts and will take about 12 to 14 minutes. So let's begin. Can you tell me your full name?
My name is Lori Franklin.
So let's begin our test with the part 1. Now in this part, I would like to ask you some questions about yourself and familiar topics. Okay. Let's talk about your hometown. Can you tell me about your hometown a little bit, please?
Well, I would consider my hometown to be Plainview because I have lived here the longest. I went to college here, so we have a pretty decent sized private university here. Our school is a 5A school, which just means we're the second largest size division that we have, so that makes us compete with some of those other schools. There's a lot of churches in our town. It's a good place to be. I've lived here about 30 years.
What is the one thing you like about your hometown?
I like that it's a small town, but still has a lot of the big town benefits. You know, all the fast food places, all the different choices for churches and for shopping. We still do have that, but it's still a small enough town that we kind of get to know our neighbors and the other people that live here.
What is the one thing you dislike about your home?
That's kind of a harder one to answer. I think it kind of is the same thing, that because we are not a big town, we have a lot of choices, but there are still some that we don't have. And so there's, I would sure like to have like maybe a Shalotsky's restaurant or something like that, or a nice steakhouse would be great.
Let's move on to the free time. What do you like to do in your free time?
I am a paper crafter. A Cricut cutting machine, and I can cut vinyl and make stickers, or I can make t-shirts. I enjoy doing that a lot. It's a digital crafting, I guess is what it is.
How much free time do you have during the week?
Not very much. Of course, as you know, I am a teacher, and so I spend a lot of my time getting ready for school and doing my schoolwork. But I'll end up, because now that all of my children have grown up and left, I'm an empty nester, and so I've got, a little bit, maybe an hour each day to myself, but yeah.
Prefer spending your free time alone or with other people?
Maybe a mix. Of course, my husband, I enjoy spending time with him, and once in a while I'll go out with people, but I'm kind of a mix between introvert and extrovert. I'm just kind of right in the middle. So there's some days that I really enjoy just some me time, but then others I like to spend time with people.
Thank you. Let's talk about singing. Do you think singing can bring happiness to people?
So 2 of my children are music majors. And one of them, he's more percussion, but he enjoys singing. And my other one, he's vocal, so he does a lot of singing, and yes, it's very enjoyment. There's also, the spiritual side of
Yeah.
things, you know, to sing praises and sing worship is just a part that, yes, can bring a lot of happiness. So short answer, yes.
Do you often sing?
I'm not great at it, but I do enjoy it.
What kind of music do you like to sing?
Mostly like the Christian music, but I do enjoy, you know, pop music quite a bit as well. I went to high school in a West Texas town where I learned a lot of country, and that was kind of my first exposure to country music, and so I kind of like it, but I don't admit it too much.
So thank you. Let's talk about lists. Do you make a list when you shop?
Definitely. I am a list maker. I'll even, if I pick up something that's not on the list, I'll add that to the list so I can mark it off.
Do you make a list for your work?
On the days that we have our work days, if I don't have a list, I'm just going to sit in my room and do nothing. So, yes, I definitely have to have a to-do list.
What do you think? Why some people do not like making lists?
I'm not sure. Maybe they don't like the whole just being bound to something that they have to get done. Maybe it intimidates them to think, oh, I've got all of this on my list that I have to do.
Thank you. This is the end of the speaking part 1, and let's move on to the part 2. In this part, I'm going to give you a topic, and I would like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. And before you speak, you will have 1 minute to prepare for this topic, and you can make notes if you wish. And here's your topic. It's describe a problem you had while shopping online. Pen, if you want to take notes, and your preparation time begins now.
Okay.
Your preparation time's over, and remember that you have 1 to 2 minutes for talking about this topic, so don't worry if I stop you.
Okay.
All right, we can start the speaking now.
A recent problem I had that I thought of was buying some shoes for my son for Christmas, and he wanted some Crocs, and we ordered him some, and they arrived, so everything went fine with that part of it, but they're too small. And so, of course, we were very disappointed that his Christmas present wasn't going to work out. But at least it was through Amazon, and they were very easy to work with. So I was able to send those back. And we ordered another pair. And that pair arrived also too small. So he was going to try to just make it work. You know, he was going to stretch them out and everything. But finally, we decided to send those back. And so we've got another pair that we're still waiting on. So we're going to see if these will work. So it was... Yeah, that was the most recent one. Anytime you buy clothes online, it's just a gamble if it's going to be, if they're going to fit, if it's going to be the style that you want. So that's kind of what we're looking at.
Do you usually shop online?
Almost exclusively, yes. You know, I don't mind getting out with crowds, but sometimes it's nice to be able to get it all taken care of just from the comfort of a home.
Thank you. This is the end of the speaking part 2, and let's move on to the last part, which is part 3.
Okay.
In this part, we will discuss some more general questions related to the topic that we have just talked about in a part 2. So let's begin by talking about services and complaints.
Okay.
What do you think of people complaining when they buy poor quality goods at low prices?
What I usually tell people is, well, you get what you paid for, you know. So if you're not gonna be willing to pay, then you will get a lower quality, and you can't complain about that. It's okay to do that because everybody needs to be able to sell their product, and so yeah, it's supporting those, but it'd be good if they were a little bit better quality for sure.
What problems do customers often have while shopping?
Sometimes items will be back ordered, so it will take longer for it to arrive. Maybe they don't have the exact product that they want, so they have to get a different product, which is sometimes something that happens. Maybe a sale ended when they didn't expect it to quite yet, and so the price ends up being more, so they feel like they were overcharged.
What do you think customers should do when there are problems with products bought online?
Well, I do think it should be handled privately, instead of maybe going to social media and just blasting the company. That's not a good way to handle things. Usually, companies will have some kind of customer support line that you can contact, and you should do that instead of just automatically deciding it's a bad company.
As a customer, what kind of services do you expect from a company?
A return policy would be good, or refund if they're not able to have a return or exchange.
What is a good service in your opinion?
I think just being able to listen and to understand what the problem is. Somebody that's an actual person and not necessarily talking to an AI bot trying to help you out. So, yeah, just someone that will listen and hear your problem.
What are the differences between shopping online and in store?
I almost expect a little bit better attention because I'm probably wrong, but I picture just somebody alone in an office who's willing to hear my questions. If I go to Walmart or a department store, I sometimes have to track down the customer service person, and so it's a little bit harder, I think.
Do you think customers' complaints will improve products or services?
We'd think so. It'd be nice. But a lot of times people have their product and there's a reason that it is the way they've created it. And so, no, it won't change anything. So there's no point in complaining.
Why do you think that is?
Because people are limited by what and how they created their product. And so if they did what they thought was their best product, then it's going to be hard for them to fix that. I mean, they might try to, I would think, but because they do want to create the best product. Like if I were to sell the stuff that I make, I would want it to be the best. And if people are complaining about it, I would try. That's just my own personality, though. I would want to make it the best that I could.
Thank you. This is the end of the speaking test. Thank you.
All right.
One more time.
Thank you, Tex.